across oceans, across seas, across the world. True North Services acquires and deploys assets and technology for remote maritime operations, supporting local companies with international access and multinationals with local needs.
True North has been in the business for solving difficult, hard-to-get-to place access for marine services, and that turns out to be all over the globe.
Behind every True North project are its people, ensuring global operations management with proven maritime expertise.
Some of these people have worked together for decades. We've been clients, we've been service providers, but ultimately we're problem solvers.
With knowledge from experience, True North provides solutions that are innovative, environmentally sustainable, and cost-effective.
We've got a good selection of the disciplines that provide those solutions. These all contribute to bringing a different point of view to a particular solution in a particular location for a particular customer.
True North Services, serving the global maritime industry with experience, knowledge, expertise. To meet increasing demands worldwide for rapid deployment of marine operation facilities, True North has acquired an inventory of 31 floating bridge pontoons. Dismantled from a retired floating highway bridge in Seattle, Washington, the original supporting pontoons were a disposal problem until True North proposed recycling on a grand scale.
I mean, it has a lot of impacts, as a contractor, because now we're not taking these pontoons and floating them into dry dock somewhere and demolishing them. If we can get rid of any of that risky work and not have any environmental issues with it, then that's great for everybody. The citizens, the state, the contractor, future owners of the pontoons.
We saw the opportunity to engage with the decommissioning of one of the longest floating bridges in the world and be able to recycle it into a usable product, and a phenomenal usable product. The pontoon is like a floating domino that you can put almost anything you want on it, on the sides, on the top, inside of the compartments.
Once acquired by True North, the pontoons are transported from Lake Washington across Lake Union and through the Ballard Locks into Puget Sound and up to freshwater storage in Canada.
I'm the eyes and ears for True North on site. I ensure that the pontoons, once they've been broken loose from each other, that they're ready for sea. There'll be 2 tugs, local tugs. One will make up on the stern, it'll be the push tug. One will be made up on the bow crosswise for a steering tug. That's the reason why we do have 2 tugs for transiting through the cuts and through the bridges.
Go ahead. Yeah, Fremont Bridge, Captain K. We're outbound with one old bridge pontoon.
Welcome aboard, guys. You're on board the tug Captain K. My name is Dan DeForge. I've been involved in this project from day one, just about. We end up, setting up the boat to push the pontoon out. So the pontoon just becomes an extension of the boat. Most barges are not this big at all. I would say these on average are 100 feet longer and about the same width.
They're going to make a maneuver through this bridge. It's kind of important we don't hit anything, but we have a deckhand that's taken 30-some pontoons through here. And so I was talking to him, we're in good hands.
The challenge is just keeping everything in the middle of the channel, nice and smooth, lining up for the next bridge opening. And it's going real good. We're right down the middle. Yeah, they're doing a real good job.
For transport worldwide, pontoons are loaded onto semi-submersible vessels. The pontoons True North has acquired come in several sizes.
These are 360 feet by 60 feet wide, almost a football field of concrete. We procured 31 of them, 18 of which are of that size, and the others are variable, different sizes.
The assumption that you go too deep, 2 pontoons, yeah, I think you go higher.
do calculation on some build.
I'm David Bishop. I'm a project engineering manager for True North. Oh, my involvement with the pontoons is primarily from a technical standpoint. That pontoon weighs around 4,500 tons. So it's a heavy structure, large heavy structure, which is an important thing actually. It was built that way on purpose because it creates a high inertia value. It resists being moved around by wind, by wave, so it's a very stable platform.
Each pontoon is built entirely of concrete with reinforced bar designed to exceptional engineering standards.
They were designed by the state of Washington to their standards, and their standards, I would say they're state-of-the-art because they have built the largest, the longest, and the most floating bridges in the world.
I think we were all very surprised at the good condition of the pontoons. Very high concrete strength. We've been very fortunate, lucky and surprised at the good condition of the bridge.
The concrete that we've had tested, we've had some cores taken of it. It was designed with a 3,600 psi concrete. It's been testing out at somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 psi.
You can't build a bridge today that is as solid as these bridges that have cured for 40 years. This is the type of concrete that is used in the silos and in the building of nuclear submarine facilities.
Each pontoon is built around individual interior cells. Each compartment is isolated by watertight doors and connected by interior walkways. There's electrical wiring and fluorescent lighting throughout.
On the upper deck, you can reinforce that deck to extreme strengths. You can think of anything that you would want to put on a concrete football field, and it can be considered.
Pontoon piers can berth Panamax vessels and accommodate pedestrian and vehicle traffic. Pontoon platforms can support heavy equipment and buildings. They can be resurfaced to meet client needs and ballasted for freeboard and draft. They can be secured by anchors or piles, and pontoon breakwaters offer environmental advantages over landfill. Pontoons are reusable, so they can be rental assets deployed globally. As our world increasingly changes through natural and human activity, True North sees floating infrastructure as innovative and sustainable solutions to many marine environmental issues.
Well, one of the hotspots today, ecologically, is the rising tide. We find that the use of a pontoon provides us with a broad approach to environmental concerns.
Pontoons have minimal impact on surroundings. Their materials are environmentally friendly, and because pontoons do not touch bottom, they barely affect the undersea environment. These are scarless developments, which do not require environmental impact studies.
That's why we find these pontoons so intriguing, because they provide an awful lot of latitude for us to address sustainability, but they in themselves are recycled products in a major way.
By recycling one pontoon, an estimated 500 metric tons of CO2 is saved by not constructing a new one, a reduction equivalent of 750 megawatt hours of electricity by solar power or 200 metric tons of coal. Over 10,000 metric tons of CO2 is saved by recycling all the True North pontoons, which is the equivalent of taking 2,300 cars off the road for a year. And thousands more tons are also averted by not demolishing these pontoons. And carbon credit offsets and positive PR will benefit many clients. Because pontoons are considered green in their reuse, special financing and grant options may be available. And, since these are U.S. built, they qualify for U.S. Export-Import Bank financing. Pontoons similar to those obtained by True North are already providing unique solutions for clients worldwide, and True North was involved in their development and implementation. 3 repurposed Hood Canal Bridge pontoons were delivered to Melville Island, Northern Australia, to become a marine supply base for the oil and gas industry. Other innovative pontoon facilities already in use include a container wharf in Valdez, Alaska, a double-deck pier for the U.S. Navy in San Diego, California, cruise ship berths in Juneau, Alaska, the Nanaimo Cruise Ship Terminal in British Columbia, Canada, a floating liquefied petroleum gas terminal. Today, new concepts for floating infrastructure are driven by innovation. Residential housing on water in the Dutch Docklands, transshipment and stationary decks in Australia, floating car parks, container ports and boulevards, ferry terminals, and floating event centers.
People are really excited about the idea of these pontoons, not just as a finite number of pontoons, but more as a concept.
You know, with a little bit of adapting the pontoons to fit a certain client's needs and protocol, I can see them lasting a long, long time, you know, depending on the application for a lot of different reasons.
Well, from the time that we focused on taking and refurbishing used bridge sections into state-of-the-art piers and docks and platforms, I believe we've had an inquiry from 7 different continents, even including Antarctica. So I don't see a place on the globe that we couldn't take our product to that is serviced by water.
True North Pontoons. Versatile, environmentally sustainable, cost-effective. Recycling on a grand scale.